turned wrenches, one broke bone. Yeah. Both occasionally break the rules. Maintainer and defender, scars we don't show. Blood from the war still stuck in our soul. Truth in the glass for the nights we don't sleep. Warriors of whiskey for the brothers we keep. Warriors and whiskey. Steel and smoke, don't test me. Warriors and whiskey. Built from grit, not pretty. Crack the bottle, lock it in, let's go.
What's up, guys? I'm Matt,
I'm Hayden.
and this is Warriors and Whiskey Real Talk Podcast.
Hell yeah.
I think we need to pick a bottle before we start.
Yeah. Get right into it for episode 1.
Yeah. So I'm going to stay away from what's behind me here. That's my premium cabinet.
It's a fancy
We're
case.
not there yet on episode 1. Which
Special
I think is
occasions.
crazy that we're finally doing this, by the way. It's pretty
Fuck yeah.
awesome. That Woodford Reserve double oak over there, that's mostly drank, but I think there's enough for both of us. That's staring me in the face. So this is good stuff. If you haven't had this, it's good stuff. And no, Woodford's not paying us to say that at all. Although I wish they would. So Woodford Reserve, if you want to pay us, go ahead.
Worth a taste. I
I love me a good cork pop.
heard that.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. All right. There you go. I did not take much. It's the same amount, buddy. I don't think we need that much. There wasn't much in there. All right. There's the cork.
Just right up front.
All right. Cheers, brother,
Cheers, man.
to episode 1 of Warriors and Whiskey Real Talk. Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.
Everyone out there. All right.
That's good.
So I figured they want to know who the hell they're watching and listening to.
Nah.
No? So I'll start. I'm Matt. I'm originally from Virginia. I am in the Air Force. I've been in the Air Force for coming up on 23 years now. It's a long ass time, my man. 23 years. I'm actually staring down the barrel of retirement. This time next year, I will likely be retired or basically done. I might not be retired, but I'll be almost done.
Yeah.
I am 44 years old. I'm a single dad. My son's 19, living down in Denver. My mom's still out in Virginia. I got a sister. She is 5 years younger than me. She's down in the Denver area as well. I said I'm from Virginia. I'm from the good side of Virginia, the western side of Virginia, up in the Blue Ridge Mountains, a town called Harrisonburg. Some of you may have heard of it if you know James Madison University. They were in the college football playoffs this year, although most people think they shouldn't have been. We're not going to get into that, but if you have opinions on that, feel free to comment. I'd love to hear them. I am not what I would call a JMU Dukes football fan, but they are in my hometown. I did go to a lot of games growing up. So I was cheering for them, although I did not expect them to win. I expected exactly what happened, which is they got their asses kicked first round.
That'll happen.
Yeah, Anyway, 23 years in the Air Force. I was actually stationed at Barksdale Air Force Base down in Louisiana for almost 21 years, right at 21 years. Yeah, with Barksdale. I'm a B-52 crew chief by trade. For those of you that don't know what a crew chief is, you non-military folks, or the finance folks out there that are military. I'm kidding. I love you guys. B-52s are crew chiefs. Sorry about that. Crew chiefs are basically aircraft mechanics. So if it's in the air, we put it there. Hell yeah, man. So B-52s, also known as the Buff, big, ugly, fat fellow. That last F, some people will say something else, but we're not going to say that this early on in the podcast. You basically have the option of Minot, North Dakota, or Barksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana. So, yeah, where they're stationed at. Those are the two main bases. They got some out in Edwards, out in California. But there's just a few of them. They're test birds. So the two primary bases is Barksdale and Minot. And so they call that Southern Buff and Northern Buff. And I was Southern Buff. And I stayed there. So as a flying crew chief, I flew all over the world. for about 8 years. It was fun. I had a blast. I loved it. It was so much fun. I got to see so many things I never would have gotten to see. Got to see a lot of places. I was gone a whole lot. So it did wear and tear on the family. A lot of wear and tear on me and my son. Like I said, I'm a single dad. So I've got full custody of him, have had for most of his life. So it was just me and him. I do have a 96-pound black lab, so you're probably going to see him walking around here at some point, or over here beside me slurping up his water. Okay, so just ignore that if it happens. Yeah, man. I love sports. I love hunting. I love fishing. I
Same.
love camping, hiking. Speaking of fishing, we need to go ice fishing when it actually stays cold enough in here.
I can't believe how warm it's been this winter in
Yeah.
Wyoming.
Yeah. So for those of you that aren't out here in Wyoming, there's about 30 people in Wyoming and 500,000 cattle. So
Yeah.
unless cattle are watching, they're probably not getting too many people from Wyoming watching.
Yeah.
However, if you're not familiar with Wyoming, typically this time of year, we're in the double digits,
Negative.
like teens, maybe even negative,
Yeah.
right? We've already seen snow quite a bit, typically. We have not. We saw a couple inches.
It popped up on my feed today in my memories
Yeah.
with the wife from last year. This day last year, me, her, and the kids were out in Kurt Gowdy. There was 6 inches of snow on about 2 feet of ice.
Huh.
And we were walking across all the lakes that are out there.
Yeah.
Today,
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
today,
Yeah, so
you could have taken a boat out.
yeah, no. I was driving by the base lakes here earlier, and it's water. Like
Yeah.
there's some patches of ice. Today it was cold, but so anyway, we digressed a little bit there.
We just got talking about
because
ice fishing,
I'm
and
really
I'm pretty
upset we haven't
pissed
been able
off
to go
about it.
ice
So,
fishing yet.
yeah.
That's probably all I got for me right now. I don't want to divulge too much and get too detailed right now, just because I want you guys to come back, find out some more about us. Feel free to ask questions. There's some comments out there. We'll be glad to answer them. We're both pretty open book.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything we won't really talk about. You may even not want us to talk about some of the shit that we're going to talk about. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see. Hayden, I'm going to send it on over to you, brother.
All right, man. Yeah. Also in the Air Force, been in for a little over 19 and a half years now. I am approaching my retirement. That's why I got all this on the old face.
Looks good, by the way.
Yeah.
Looks real good.
I've been joking with people because it's a little patchy in areas that I tripped and fell in a barber shop. And I just left it there. So
There's a lot more salt than pepper on that chin.
Yeah.
I will say it's kind of weird because your mustache is pretty much all salt and pepper.
Yeah.
But the bottom is
I got
it's
these
kind of
like
like a skunk.
skunk
the
stripes.
skunk.
Yeah. It's weird, man. Was not intentional. I'm not bleaching this shit. It's just how it came in. Gives me some character, I've been told. But
Yeah. We'll call it character.
yeah, something like that. No, I been in for a little over 19 and a half years now, approaching my retirement, currently in Skillbridge. I'm getting excited about it. Originally from upstate New York in a very small town that, unless you're from there, you probably never heard of it. Got a wife, like I said, I got 2 beautiful children. We've been married for about 13 years, I think. Abe, help me out on that. Yeah,
Your wife's going to kill you. By the
no,
way.
she understands. I forget birthdays. I forget years. All that. I'm not that guy. I forget my birthday. She has to remind me. So I just don't pay attention to the date. Wait till I'm a civilian, dude. You think I'm going to pay attention to anything?
And you pay attention to things now.
Exactly. But yeah, originally from upstate New York. Very proud of where I'm from. Very small town, farming town. That's where I fell in love with hunting, fishing, outdoorsy activities, going on hikes and stuff. And I think that's one of the things that kind of brought you and I together, outside of obviously the work relations. Speaking of work, I've been a security forces member for my entire career. I have deployed a few times. I've been to more bases than you. Thankfully, I have a career field that allows me to do that.
That's not that many, brother.
I know.
Literally 2.
I know.
Barksdale and Effie Warren.
Yeah.
Global strike. Hoorah.
Now, my first base was Keesler. That's where I met my wife down in Biloxi, Mississippi. After that, I was lucky enough to go to Minot, North Dakota, which was honestly a very good experience for me. A lot of people hate on it, but I actually really enjoyed my time out there. Did my 4 years there, got code 50'd out, went to Vance Air Force Base in Oklahoma, which is about the size of a football field. And they have a runway on it where they do pilot training. And that out of that base, I volunteered for here. And this is where I knew I was going to hang up my uniform, retire from the military. That's why I picked this place. It was some place that my wife and I had always wanted to come to. Beautiful. We love Wyoming. The wind could, not exist for a couple days. That would be cool. But yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell too. I don't want to get into it too much as we go through these podcast episodes. I feel like
we're going to share things.
We'll share some stuff. The audience will get to know us a little bit more as we do that. But yeah, man. Other than that, like, I'm just excited to be here, brother.
Man, me too. This is a blast.
It is a blast.
This is so much fun. So much fun. Cheers to that, brother.
Yeah, man.
Cheers.
Absolutely. I almost cheers them again. I don't think we need to do that every time.
No, I think one cheers to the audience is plenty.
Why don't you tell us how you came up with this idea, brother?
Oh, brother. Well, it was really wild.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that I am coming up on retirement. Not quite as close as Hayden. Hayden, you're a couple months away.
Yeah,
a few months away. Yeah. This time next year, I'll be sitting where you are, almost exactly, to be honest. But so I've been struggling with what I'm going to be when I grow up, honestly. My mom still tells me to this day that I got to grow up, and I keep saying no. And so I don't plan on it, actually. Sorry, Mama. I love you. There you go. It's no fun to be old and grow up. So I'm just not gonna do it. It'll be fine. But yeah, I don't know what my identity is going to be. After 23 years, well, it'll be, by the time I retire, it'll be 24 years. After 24 years in the Air Force, I'm institutionalized. I really don't know who I am or what I'm about without the uniform. I truly don't.
Well, that's what that's what your whole life is. And I know for me personally, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
obviously throughout your military career, your uniform, it changes along with your responsibilities, but it stays the simple core of what you are, what you do every day, right?
Yeah.
Remember BDUs? Ironing them shits
BDUs.
and polishing boots?
Yes.
Like,
yes. That was my Sunday ritual.
Yeah, man.
6-pack of beer,
Yep.
and some black boot polish.
Yep.
Thing of water. Sitting down in front of the TV, watching Sunday night football, if it was during football season, or watching something, and just polishing away, man.
It was just so soothing, but you took pride in your uniform. Everybody did. I miss it because you could walk into a room and look at everybody and be like, well, that guy's a shitbag. She doesn't know how to polish her boots. These guys look crispy. I'm going to go talk with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it definitely,
for sure.
It becomes who you are.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not sure who I'm going to be, I got a good idea what I'm going to do to make money. I'm not really worried about that, between our retirement, and then, hopefully some VA disability. We're both so screwed up,
Busted.
both mentally, emotionally, and physically. I feel like we're going to get pretty good disability rating. We'll see. But yeah, I feel lost, and I've been scared. I really am. Truly fear. And, I don't really have fear for much, but it scares me.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know what I'm going to be about. For 23 years, I have been excited to come to work every day. Bleed blue.
Mm-hmm.
I am Air Force from my head to my toes. I've loved it. I absolutely love being a crew chief. I love flying. I loved everything about it. I love, walking out on the flight line, to a broke ass airplane, and then fixing it and walking away and then watching it take off. Like that and then come back safely.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love my job now as a first sergeant, helping people, supporting the personnel and the units. It's just amazing. So every night when I go to bed, I'm excited to wake up the next day to go to work. And I'm going to need that. I don't want to lose that because the last 23 years have been pretty damn awesome. I've really loved it. I really have.
The military's been great to me, man. Yeah. Honestly, one of the best decisions my father ever made for me. I'm joking. Obviously, it was my choice, but when I was 18, it basically got to the point where it was like, what are you going to do for the rest of your life? After high school, I was working construction back then. I was making good money. I had been in construction for about 4 or 5 years before that. So I started when I was 14 as just a laborer, cleaning up, sweeping during summer vacation and on weekends. But I did a little bit of time. I want to say it was like 6 or 7 months between the time I graduated high school and left for basic training, or maybe a little bit more. But I didn't want to do that forever. And I remember talking to my family about joining the military, and my father was all for it. And he told me, once you leave here, man, stick with it, find something better, but don't come back here because there ain't shit in this town. And 100%, I ran with that after my first enlistment. I thought I was just going to do my 4 years and get out. And I decided to re-enlist for 6, and that took me to 10. And I was like, well, screw it. I might as well make a career out of this. I'm having a blast. I love the people I'm working with. Yep. Everybody, well, I won't say everybody, but 98% of the people that I've served with have absolutely enjoyed standing shoulder to shoulder with them.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, it's about this.
Yes.
You know, like we'll be brothers forever.
Ever, brother.
Forever.
Yep.
You know, we could be across the world from each other. It ain't going to matter.
Yeah.
You know, but so, yeah, with all that being said, I just struggled with what I was going to do. I went to a distillery tour the first time, and you weren't there. You weren't able to go that time. To a distillery. I'm not going to say the distillery right now because I don't have permission from the owner, although it's an amazing place.
Oh,
the
man.
owner is awesome. I absolutely loved it. I've been in contact with him a little bit. So, you know, we'll probably give him a little bit of a shout out and his whiskey brand later on in a, you know, future podcast. And that kind of got me sparked. I've always thought about, you know, having my own whiskey brand, you know, distilling whiskey or doing it the non-distiller route and, you know, buying a brand. But I did some research and, oh boy, that's a process. It's a long pull. It's a lot of money. Yeah. Yeah. And time, all that stuff. Right. And I'm just not in a place I can do all that right now. You know, hopefully later down the road, it's still something that I really want to do, but cause I think that's something that'll fulfill me. Cause one of the things that I really loved about this distillery was it has a tasting room bar area.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you've been there. We went a couple weeks ago.
And what a blast.
Yes. You know, they have a really nice setup. It's a cool, chill spot. You know, you're not going to see no college kids in there taking shots.
Yep.
It's grown-ass adults having a good time, having a whiskey or two, right? And that, to me, is what whiskey does. It brings people together, right? That's the name of Warriors and Whiskey. And that's what I love about it, you know? It's a spirit that just, no matter where you're from, no matter what you look like, no matter what religion or political, you know, side of the politics scale that you're on, none of that matters. You know, you come together with whiskey, no matter what, you have at least one thing in common, and that's a love for whiskey, for bourbon.
Yeah, just sharing a pour.
And it brings out conversation. Man, some of the best conversations I've ever had have been in a whiskey bar, you know, usually out in the middle of the sticks somewhere, you know, private owned, you know, single family owned business. And you just sit there, you'll find some old retiree, you know, or somebody that's sitting there in a business suit and you chat them up and you share stories. It's, you know, it's amazing. So I want to be a part of that.
Just that day that we were there, I was absolutely blown away when, after we got done with the tour that we took and we came back and you could see just the what is it? Diversity of the crowd, right? Yeah. There were people in suits.
Yep.
And they had a little corner. They were all sitting there listening. We were all listening to the same music, having the same conversations. You know, you could tell when the cowboys were done with their work because a bunch of dirty ass cowboys walked in. And one of the ones, he walked right up to us. He was like, "Hey, y'all, I don't know you." Shook hands.
Yeah, he was a local. You could tell he goes there often.
It was like shaking hands with a stump. You could tell that man, he's a working man for sure.
Blue collar from his head to his toes.
Yes. Right? But like you said, the atmosphere of sharing a pour, what that does to bring people together, that common ground of, I like this, you like this, we should hang out and talk about this, or just talk about anything in general, but you're doing it over a common ground. And I think it's amazing.
No. And that's exactly what it's all about. You know, you usually start talking about the whiskey you're drinking, you know, and then it flares out from there.
Yeah.
And you just never know where the conversation is going to take you. So I want to be a part of something like that. I don't have $1 million to throw in and start a distillery or a cool whiskey bar yet. Maybe one day. So I started thinking, well, how can I bring people together, talk about real life shit, and have fun? And I thought, a podcast. Because you and I both, we listen to podcasts, you know, Joe Rogan and everything. We are not Joe Rogan. You know, keep your expectations low here, please.
No.
All right, please. But so I was like, well, that would be a cool idea. But I thought, nobody's going to listen to just me sitting here by myself talking about stuff without having anybody to bounce anything off of.
Yeah.
But I kept the idea, and I've been thinking about it for a little while, doing research, watching YouTube videos about podcasts, watching podcasts about how to start podcasts. And but I was like, man, I'm going to need somebody else. I didn't really have anybody. I didn't feel comfortable saying anything to anybody at first because I was like, it's just one of those cockamamie ideas. So I just kind of kept it to myself. And 2 weekends ago now, you texted me. It was on a Friday evening or Friday afternoon after work. We hadn't hung out in a couple of weeks, which is unusual for us. Usually we hang out pretty consistently. You've been focusing on your family and retirement.
Skill bridge.
I'm still doing, the Air Force thing and first sergeant. So we just kind of been going in different directions. So you came over. We were supposed to just have a couple of drinks. And that's what you told your wife, although your wife told you to take your house key with you because she knew better with us. Because it's never a couple of drinks with us. And it's never just an hour.
No.
So 5 or 6 hours later, we were way more than a couple of drinks in. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
But during that process, before we really crossed into, drunkenness.
I would say lubricated.
Yeah. Highly lubricated, like smooth, very smooth. I had mentioned doing a podcast and your face lit up.
Yeah, man.
And I honestly thought you were going to be like, you are an idiot. What are you thinking? Right. But you were like, I've been thinking about that too. Your ideas revolve more around like a lot of your loves, hunting, fishing, which I love too. And which we're going to get into. We're going to talk a lot about hunting, fishing, all that kind of stuff, shooting guns. We both love shooting guns, But so, and then I said, well, would you do it with me? And you were like, hell yeah, brother.
Absolutely.
Like, let's do it.
I got fired up, man.
This was 2 weekends ago, not even full 2 weeks ago. And here we are. We done research. We've tried a few things. We've done some test shoots, ordered some microphones, all those things. And here we sit, episode 1 of Warriors and Whiskey Real Talk. And that's exactly what it is. It's a couple of men talking about man shit, talking about issues that we have, right? Issues that men go through. Okay. Neither one of us are women, in case you were curious, folks. So we can't talk about that. I'm not trying to discriminate against women or say you can't watch it. In fact, I hope that some of you do, and maybe it'll help you understand a little bit about men in general. Right?
I've already asked the wife if she'd be a guest.
Okay. Well, I mean, so I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely down to have, female guests. That's not, when I say it's about men, it's because that's what we know. We know men, obviously. And it's going to be, about men and what we struggle with, right? Just as men, running families, being the breadwinners. Obviously, we have the military perspective right now, so we're gonna route back to that, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna always lean back to that. And we were even talking last week, I think it was, and I was like, man, I don't want this to be just military. I want us to delve off into other things, and because I was just concerned that it would just be a bunch of disgruntled military guys watching us, and that'd be it. And that's great, and I want you guys to watch, but I want anybody. I want anybody to feel comfortable and feel like they're connected to this podcast.
Well, I think too, as we get further in and do more episodes, we're going to evolve.
Oh, 100%.
Because like you said, in a couple, 4 months, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then this time next year, you're going to be in the same shoes and then going off onto your adventures. We're going to continue this. It'll be remotely. I'll be in Mississippi. You're going to Tennessee.
Yep.
And
so we'll be remote.
We'll be doing this over phone. So the camera and all that stuff might be a little bit different computers and whatnot. Hopefully I can get a badass setup like this and wherever I'm at. But I think we'll evolve as we go through that too. Because as we transition into civilian life, that's going to become, I think, just the type of people that we are. When I hang my uniform up, I'm going to be very proud of it. But I'm the type of person that basically I'm going to own whatever I am doing.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm trying to get into real estate. So maybe in the future, that might be all I talk about is real estate or referencing it at least. But I feel like that's the type of people that we are, that we just run head first or dive right into the deep end. And then that just becomes part of our.
And our perspectives will change once we're both fully on civilian,
Yes.
But one of the things I remember you had brought me back to was like, this military is what we are. This is who we are. We need to embrace it. So it kind of like when you said that, I was like, damn, okay. I wasn't expecting Hayden to go deep on me. And we were both sober.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but
between the two of us, by the time you're done, that's going to be 44 years of military service combined.
yeah, that's almost half a century.
Yeah.
That's that's a lot of
It's hard.
a lot of years.
It's going to be hard for me to not talk about that.
We're always going to,
Yeah.
right? But I don't want this to be just about the military. But that's what we're about. We're about talking about real shit, couple of men, and talking about shooting guns, hunting, fishing, emotional stuff, mental health stuff, laughing, joking.
Mhm.
We're going to get heavy. We're going to get deep. We're going to stay lighthearted. We're going to go all over the spectrum here. And I'm looking forward to getting into some of the things and even bringing on, other guests and, seeing some of y'all's comments. If you have questions, if you have ideas, if you want us to talk about a topic, go in the comment section, right? Give us an idea. Give us a shout out. Tell us where we suck. Tell us that we're doing something good. Don't hurt our feelings too bad, please, because we're new at this. We're literally in my house, in my dining room.
Constructive criticism.
Yes. So this is not going to be perfect. You're going to have a dog. Who knows what can happen. But I also want to branch out. We're not always be sitting here.
No.
I would love to set up a distillery tour and film that. Go to a brewery, or we go out to the shooting range.
Mhm.
We test out some guns. I mean, there's all sorts of things that we can do, that we can talk about. So it's not going to be just feelings. It's not going to be just about, what we struggle with and all that stuff. But that's what it's about. It's about us coming together and just talking real. No bullshit, no filters, no AI crap. Just Matt and Hayden, laying it out there.
Yeah.
And being vulnerable and seeing where it goes, right?
Oh, 100%,
Okay,
man. And the
baby.
beauty of this is because, we're not going to buckle it down into one specific thing. It can literally just morph into whatever the hell we're feeling that day, whatever the people want to hear or see. And that's going to be amazing, man. You see so many podcasts that are out there and they're only just about this. This is all we will discuss. I don't think we're going to have that problem.
No.
It's we'll throw some stuff up on the wall and just throw darts at it. All right. Today we're talking about trains.
Yep. Yep. It's gonna rage the gamut, we'll talk about family stuff.
Absolutely.
All those things. What it was like, raising a family in the military, being gone a lot. Both of us were deployed quite a bit.
Yeah.
And gone away from our families. That's a huge thing. Neither one of us were stationed anywhere close to our family. I don't think at all. At least I wasn't. I don't think you were either.
Dude, they sent me to Mississippi, and then I went to North Dakota, then Oklahoma, and now to FE. I've literally been in the same.
You've been in one part of the country.
That's
really
it, man.
Yeah.
I've done TDYs, but
I mean, me too. I mean, I've been in two way different parts. Louisiana, do not recommend, by the way. Sorry, anybody from Louisiana, just not a fan. Humidity is deadly. Although the food is primo.
Yeah.
Crawfish, crab legs, etouffee, gumbo. Oh boy, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's married to a Cajun.
Yeah.
And bro, she can cook some serious Cajun.
I know. I've had to tell her to dial it back because I'm starting to thicken up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to lose a couple of LBs myself.
Same. We'll talk about that too.
This is what it's going to be about, guys. This is what it's going to be about. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what you want. We want to bring some of you on. If you want to come on as a guest, let us know. We have ways to do it virtually if you're not in the local area. But we want to discuss things and see what you want to talk about.
Hell yeah, brother.
I think we just made it through episode 1.
I think so, man.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. This has been a blast, guys. I hope you stick around. I hope you watch the next episode. This is going to continue for as long as I want to go for a long time.
Me too.
I really do.
I do too.
I don't think we're ever going to run out of things. We can always revisit stuff and just do a different twist and talk more deep or whatever. But I really enjoy hanging out. I enjoy doing this and just having some real talk and no bullshit.
Hell yeah.
So don't forget to like, share, follow, all those things.
Subscribe.
I'm not all that internet savvy. YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel out there. I've got Instagram, Facebook, and then we're going to be putting all the podcasts out to all the podcast apps and websites out there as well. It was great hanging out. I think it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah, man.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Finished up episode 1.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers to y'all. This is Warrior and Whiskey Real Talk. Signing off.